Hey everyone, Earl here with another episode of the Cryptopolitan podcast. And today we have Matthieu from Magma. How are you doing today?
Very good. Thank you. Happy to
Oh,
be
thank
here.
you. Yeah, thank you for being on the show. I'm looking forward to learning more about the project. So let's dive right in, shall we? Tell us kind of from like a layman's perspective, the name of the project and what does it do?
Sure. So the name of the project is Magma.
Yes.
It means the fusion of the stone.
Fusion of stuff.
Basically,
Okay,
it's
cool.
fusion of the stone. So it's for real estate. Basically, it's the
Hmm.
fusion of all data in a building environment.
Yes.
It's the unification of all data sets
Hmm.
into one single digital asset that we
I
call
like it.
the digital twin token.
I saw it on the website and I was surprised as to how many data points you had because it's not just, here's the address, here's the space, here's the thing.
Right.
Like you had even like vendors or plumbers or whatever talking about what updates they did, and that's pretty interesting.
Right. We have over 2,000 data points.
Hmm.
In a building, you can have thousands of contracts. You can
Yes.
have different types of systems. We
Hmm.
call them operating systems, operational technologies, or informational technologies.
Hmm.
So you have operational technology that are more on the ground of the building, which are your electrical system, your access systems, your cameras, the screens. If you have the elevator shafts systems,
Yes.
uh, all the systems that are underground, and then you have the informational systems, which are more from an asset management perspective, that you will see the financial flow of the building,
Hmm.
meaning the lease, the rental income, meaning the debt outflow. So this is basically the two kind of information that you find on a building.
Yes.
And so we record all that into a digital asset.
That's really cool. What spurned the like the inspiration to put everything in one spot? Like were you managing like a building and you were just frustrated because you couldn't find everything and everything's in a different spot?
Exactly, exactly. So my background is first in finance. Started in finance in a big bank,
Hmm.
working as a stockbroker on Nasdaq securities at the end of the 90s. So it was the beginning of the dot coms. I'm sorry,
Yes.
my door is ringing. So how do we do that? Like, we have to cut and start again after. Can you cut?
Yeah, we can cut for
But
a bit.
somebody is ringing my door.
Yeah, go
Sorry.
for it.
Ouais. Oui. Ah non, désolé, je suis au téléphone. So sorry about that.
No
All right.
worries.
Okay. So
All right. So yeah, continue, please.
okay. So uh, started in finance in Miami as a stockbroker, working on the Nasdaq securities at the end of the 90s. That's how I discovered the technology in general. Then moved back to France with our bank and started working in real estate at the bank at Union Bank of Switzerland, UBS Paris.
Hmm.
That's how I started to work in real estate. So I then left the bank, and for over 15 years, I had my own company as a real estate developer or
Yes.
redeveloper. So we would buy existing assets and turn them into something else. For example, we bought offices that we turn into residential. We bought motels that we turn into extended stay. We bought office that we turn into hotels. So I got a very good view, very good understanding of the weeds of the real estate operations, from sourcing a deal, understanding the asset, getting the
Hmm.
ID, putting a project together, raising the funds, going to the permit system, get the permits, do the works, transform the asset, even manage the asset. I had an operational management company. We had 50 apartments in extended stay in
Hmm.
Miami. So I went through all the hurdles of real estate when it comes to data. And I realized by doing that, that a lot of times in real estate, you lose data when you change
Well, yeah.
a service provider, when you lose your property manager, you
Mm.
lose your architect or your electrician, or
Yeah, the data's
information
gone because
flow.
they don't have it anymore. But if you put it on the
Exactly.
chain under the digital twin token, it sticks, right?
Exactly. So you get it. So, and I realized losing data was very costly in the life cycle of a building. Not
Well, you
only
have to pay for it all over again. You have to hunt down the
exactly,
old team. Maybe they're retired, maybe they're gone, maybe the documents
ex-
don't exist anymore. Oh boy.
exactly. And it's not only costing for the owner, it's also costing for the service providers that
Hmm.
because they don't have certain data sets, they cannot do perform their operation well. So
Well, they're
in the
starting from
end,
zero. They're starting from scratch, right? If
it's
I had the
starting
old
from scratch.
data,
So
there's something there to chew on, right?
exactly. So and it really relates to what the world that we are living in right now
Hmm.
about accuracy of data. And we are entering a world where we cannot afford to work on bad data. We cannot
I was
afford.
I was uh I was reading on
Yeah.
the site when we were talking about this piece
Yes,
that the transferability of the asset becomes easier because of the amalgamation of all the data. It's in one
correct.
big happy spot. So
Correct. And we are really switching era where we are going from an analog era to a
mm.
digital era where everything is digitized and there is a digital record of everything everywhere.
I think it's beyond that though, right? Because
Right.
we are in the digital era now, but we're still in a digital kind of um dystopian where like everything is on a different platform, right? Everything's on a
Absolutely.
different thing. It's like when Google released Google Data Studio. Now you can pull in, data from multiple parts. It's in one big happy dashboard. I mean, that this technology existed ages ago, but because you're putting it on chain, that makes a bit of a difference because now
Correct.
it's untenable, right? It's
Because of the immutability features and the traceability of the data stamps, it
yes,
gives you insurance of the accuracy of the data, or it's tamper proof.
absolutely.
You know that nobody can tamper the data, and you know when something has been done and by who.
Well, this
So
this makes it easier. I mean, when you look at the people who, like, say, for example, let's say you're part of an investment group or real estate income trust or whatever, and you're looking to acquire a property. Do you want the property that has a bunch of mystery skeleton in the closet, or do you want the
exactly,
property with the beautiful,
exactly.
transparent everything, right? That's really nice.
It seems very obvious, but unfortunately, that's not how real estate industry was built for over centuries, decades.
That's true. But these days, with the mergers and acquisitions, people they're becoming more data centric. This is why
Correct.
it's fascinating because like the utility of the blockchain has been evolving so quickly, but it's
Yes.
no longer like a meme coin or crypto kitty or whatever. This is actually useful. So that's
Yes.
fantastic.
Yes, I wish there was less meme coins and more useful use case, but unfortunately, a lot of projects they come from younger guys that maybe have no experience in the industry and maybe they don't have
Hmm.
interest in having
But
experience.
I'm finding there's more utility these days.
Yes,
Right?
yes,
So because this is our 27th or 28th interview now for the show, and
yes,
it's been fascinating to see the utility that's been coming down the pipe. Like this is the first time
yes.
I've seen anyone with this type of information. Now the funny thing is because of the places we run in and the groups we run in, I have introductions for you. So I'll make some introductions for you for other people in the blockchain
Oh,
space, in the
with
real estate
pleasure,
space, who aren't competing
pleasure.
with you, but would
Yeah,
actually join venture with you.
yes.
That makes a lot of sense. This is really
Not
cool,
easy. It's
man.
not easy though, huh, I have to say, because first of all, it's a multi-stakeholder environment. So when you say
Yes.
multi-stakeholder, that means private and public. Because
Yes.
if we are doing that, it's also to share data between private companies, citizens, and also public space, meaning the cities, the district, the regions, they need to aggregate data because we need to be mindful of resources, meaning energy consumption,
Mm.
also CO2 emissions,
Yes.
also maintenance, preventive maintenance to avoid, big issues in buildings that can have safety issues for the city.
Understood, but I mean, if you look at it like from the standpoint of like green and environmental technology, right? If I have to get the reports from the plumber, I have to get a report from the electrician, and I have to drive there, right? The CO2 usage of my car driving from point A to point B is much higher than what the blockchain is eating up, right? So it's still a
Absolutely,
green initiative in my eyes.
absolutely spot on. But we
Um,
need to assess that. because it's
Right.
not, it seems obvious, but in reality people are so used to do the things the way they do that, like, why would we change? We are used to
Yeah.
do like this. There is no really incentive to change things unless we prove, listen, you wasted 200 times going back and forth to the building within a
Yes.
year between all your service providers. That's X amount of fuel, and that X amount of CO2, and hourly paid people
Mhm.
just going driving there.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
That's
It
it.
makes absolute sense. So
Yeah.
with
So we
all
need to
this,
prove it.
with all this underlying foundation, this is exciting. I like what I'm hearing. What to you is the most exciting piece of what's either what's already out there or what's coming out? Like what are you excited about personally?
Really, really, honestly, if I did that, not in a, at first, not in a business perspective, but more I have a sense of urgency to do it. Because
Mm,
I was so used to real estate the way I was doing it, and I was not fulfilled with it because, first of all, we were always doing the same things, very repetitive. And I didn't feel I was leaving a legacy for my kids. I didn't feel fulfilled by the my goal in life. I
that makes
thought
sense.
I could do better. So,
Okay.
and I was looking at the world, the way the world was going, and I was thinking, what are we leaving to our kids? What kind of world are we living if we keep on repeating the same thing and say, okay, no, nothing's going to change because it works like this and we've always done the same thing.
Right.
And I had the chance to understand both finance and real estate, and to meet my actual partner Cooper, who is like really it's a genius. I think he's really a genius in terms of
Mm.
computing for buildings. He's a parametric architect, so he's a programmer for buildings. So he can write code, build algorithm around building data, and is really strong. So when I met him, and I said, wow, that's something I could really work with him and build something around what he knows, what I know, and together we built Magma.
Yeah, that's fantastic. So there's a gentleman who wrote the book Psychology, The Psychology of Money. And it was a really
Yes,
interesting thing that he had on his podcast the other day. And it was talking about the different kinds of knowledge. And some knowledge is foundational and grows over time, and some knowledge is cyclical, right?
yes,
Problem with the cyclical type data is that people are forced to make the same mistake over and over and over again. And what I like
yes,
about what you're doing is you're turning a cyclical data set into a foundational data set such that people can actually remember the mistakes of
correct,
the past,
correct.
right?
It's
That's a
exactly.
huge thing.
I'm glad you are saying that because that's exactly why we are doing it. We want to
Well,
leave a legacy to the next generation to build
right.
upon.
But that
We
that but the thing is with the knowledge base you're building upon, they get to actually build upon the old mistake, right? Because that's how you learn, right? And if you
Yes,
do the same mistake over, I mean that's the whole premise of history, right? If
right.
those who don't study history are doomed to repeat it, right?
Yes.
So this is a really cool thing. So that's fantastic. That's a really interesting project. So anybody who's interested should definitely check out the Magma site. Now, when you're not doing this, so when you're not here changing the face of real estate and the future of real estate. What do you do for fun when you're not at your computer?
Um, so I have a very, very, very quiet life. I would say
Mm.
I used to be very outgoing, going out a lot, traveling a lot. But since
Yeah.
I'm working with this project, it's my project, and the
Yeah.
only thing I do other than that, I mean, two things: sport and my kids. I have two kids.
Nice.
Yes, my son is 12-year old and my daughter is 10-year-old,
That's a
and
fun age.
yes, yes, they are really really cool kids, and really I really love them. So so I take care of my kids and I do a lot of sports. Um,
What's your
I
favorite sport right now?
I run and I do Thai boxing for many
Oh,
years.
that's so cool.
Yeah, so
Fantastic. My shin is still messed up. I got my black belt for Muay Thai, and they made me cut down a tree
nice.
with my shin, and I'm like, dude, that
Yeah,
sucks. And
yeah,
so yeah, I did it.
nice,
It works. So yeah, I love
fantastic.
it. Martial arts and kids. That's amazing. I, I
Yes,
share I
yes.
share some of those with you. My kids are I have two, one's 16, one's 15. So,
Oh,
so there you go.
you don't look that old. They are
I
grown.
I
Grown up,
I'm 44, believe it or not.
oh, 44. You
So,
don't look 44 at all.
oh, thanks. That's awesome, man. So yeah, kids and martial arts keep your life
Yes.
busy. That's fantastic.
And
Plus
and
Magma.
and Magma really keeps me awake at night almost
Well,
time. When I
it's
don't do
nice.
it, I dream about it. So it's
It's nice to
constant.
see the passion behind the
Yes,
project, right?
yes,
Because
yes,
there's a real utility, there's real world usage, this is real world
yes.
asset you're putting on the thing. This is really cool, man. That's a and
Thank you.
like you said, the family and the sports. That's a good balanced life, I think, right?
Yes, I'm on a mission. I'm on a mission. Until I finish what I'm my mission, I will have fun after.
Yeah, but it sounds like you're having fun now, right?
Yeah, yeah,
So
I do
yeah,
actually.
right. If you enjoy what you do, they say if you enjoy what you do,
Yes,
you never work a day in your
you
life,
don't
right?
exactly. You don't
So
feel the
this is some I see
same.
the passion. That's fantastic. Well, we're getting to the end of the interview, so I'm sad now that it's over. But the last question is, you know, you've got all these exciting things happening. Give people a reason to connect with Magma. Give people a reason to connect with you, and then where do you want them to connect with you? How do you want them to reach out?
So, but I think people that are interested in the project, they can
Mhm.
reach out to us through Telegram, our Telegram channel.
Okay.
Uh, that's the best way to learn about the project. Every day we post thing and we have discussion about what we do, and it's really a new way of seeing real estate.
Okay.
And I think people will see real estate differently because we all live in buildings as tenants or own
Yeah.
buildings or own apartments. We are all having activities in buildings, or we either work or live, or we spend 80% of our times in buildings. And seeing what we are doing, they will see it from a different angle, and
Mm.
also they will be able to participate in their own building by providing data. If you are a
Yes.
tenant, you can provide data. You are an electrician, you can provide data. An architect, you can provide data. So I think people would want to understand what is Magma, so they will see how they could, profit from it by participating in the network. And as for me, they can find me on Twitter or on my Instagram, where I post almost every day, and in real life, if people want to connect with me,
Nice.
or in LinkedIn, they can send me a message and maybe we can meet. I'm always, traveling. I'm between Paris, Miami, and Dubai.
Oh wow.
So
That is a lot of travel.
yes,
Fantastic.
I travel a lot, so they can find me in either one of those three cities.
That's fantastic. So they should, and then maybe the post where you're going. If you're going to a fun event or whatever, they can meet you at one of those. That's fun. That's really
Yes,
cool.
yes, yes. Is there
All
a way
right.
we can leave the Telegram channel somewhere?
Yeah, yeah. What we'll do is we'll reach out to you and then we'll grab them and we'll put them in the notes
Okay,
for the post, right?
okay,
So no,
okay.
this is fantastic.
Thank you.
I'm glad you're doing what you're doing. I can
Thank
see
you.
definitely the usage and the utility. I could see that you're making the world a better place for the next generation. And this is a really
Really?
cool movement. It's like the MLS before MLS, and then there's MLS,
Right.
right? And then all of a
Yes,
sudden this is the next
yes,
evolution.
yes.
So
You can overlay information. Some information is more commercial, some information is more technical,
yes.
some information is personal, some information is for the city.
But
And then
I like the fact that you have the different bucket, the different container to put them all into.
right,
Some is
right.
private and some is public, and that's beautiful. That's
Yes.
really cool. All right. Well, thank you so much for being on the show, Matthieu.
Thank you. Oh, I
Yeah,
loved it. Super
this is
cool.
great, and I'm looking forward to hear updates from you guys in the future. So keep
Yeah,
in
yeah,
touch.
you can. Yeah, yes, absolutely. You can follow our Telegram, and you can always reach me if you are interested, or if you want to maybe work with us. Would be a
Yeah,
pleasure. Your ideas.
fantastic. Well, thank you so
Yes.
much for being on the show.
Thank you.